My name is Yuji-won, and I will explain Chapter 13 as a presenter of Toronto School, especially the bias of communication by Innes introduced in reading media theory. Let's go through theory introduction first. First, I will explain the background of Toronto School's development. Toronto School was marginalized by the power of European scholars. Despite a handicap of geographical problem to develop further, Innes and McLuhan were very known for social effects of media technologies. Also, they insisted the technological determinism that technology shapes society and can make social change. Through this theory, the attention to media contents moved to media forms like television and radio itself. Like this, isolated Canadian scholars could correct the Eurocentric bias. And let me introduce the famous scholars, Innes and McLuhan. The difference of research between Innes and McLuhan was that Innes focused on oral and written communication, but McLuhan focused on television and made famous idioms like global village, hot and cool media, the medium is the message, or the medium is massage. Until now, this was the brief introduction of Toronto School. Then let's go deep inside of Innes' bias of communication. Innes' key question was, why do we attend to the things to which we attend? By asking this question, he emphasized the importance of communication in determining things to which we attend. And he introduced technological developments and consideration of time and space issues. So, space binding or biased culture versus time binding or biased culture were created. For example, space binding culture can be related to real estate, voyage, expansion, and empire, and it is connected over vast distances by symbols, forms, and interests. In contrast, time-binding culture can be related to history, continuity, permanence, and rely on oral mythopoetic religion. This article is articulated by covering the human's historical aspects in the concept of monopoly of knowledge. And in this article, the meaning of bias can be the use of different combinations of media and materials would enable quite different degrees of control over space and time according to Scannell. According to Innes, a medium of communication has an important influence on dissemination of knowledge over space and time. And he assumed the use of a medium of communication will determine the character of knowledge to be communicated and suggested that its pervasive influence will eventually create a civilization, that a new medium will become the lid to the emergence of a new civilization by finding monopoly of knowledge. First, the monopoly of knowledge of Egyptian was papyrus and hieroglyphics. At that time, periodic floods of Nile, sidereal year, adoption of calendar, religious festivals could be treated equal establishment of monarchy and imposition of Egyptian gods, mummification, construction of pyramids. Then after papyrus came out, hieroglyphic developed more and more, and writing became secularized, and the culture of using stone, changed to the culture of using papyrus. After invasion of Hyksos, political organization was extended and mixed races and religions as the solution for problems of space couldn't resolve problems of continuity. So Egyptian empire declined. Then history goes to Persia. Persian had a lot of war using long bow pike alphabet, but their policy of toleration to diverge Assyrian and Egypt could develop Persia by administration based on roads, horses, satrap for communication by post with capital. So capital power was centralized, but problems of continuity could not be overcome even in Persia. Then Greek conquered the world with centering oral tradition like Homeric poems to be recited. Appearance of 24 consonantal alphabets and vowels comparing to Phoenician consonantal alphabet was their main monopoly of knowledge. Written language was used as an instrument of oral language, alphabet for sound, not an eye. And the effectiveness of oral tradition like Dionysiac ritual, choral lyrics, and the appearance of Aeschylus, Sophocles, Euripides moved to music, tragedy, literature, and play by increasing written words. So the decline of oral tradition in Greek due to Peloponnesian War was occurred, and Sparta and Athens was diverged as a failure of mixing divergent cultures. The monopoly moved to Rome. The monopoly of knowledge in Roman Empire was papyrus and Christian writings by translating Hebrew scriptures into Greek. Thanks to religion, spread of Roman Empire to Constantinople could be possible. Chinese monopoly of knowledge was paper and writing like pictograms, creating gap between higher class and lower class. The upper class spread Buddhism. Buddhism's oral-based limitation was possible to appeal to lower class, and paper made Buddhists possible to develop block printing. Pictogram, overcoming differences in spoken culture, provided communication across the space. Let's change the perspective to Islamic culture. Capital of Baghdad became the new center for Arabic culture, and there were lots of translators of Greek, Syriac, Persian works. Paper from China spread to India, Baghdad, and West, and commercial cities appeared also at the time. It was spatial concept of developing paper and monopoly of knowledge. And after that, monasteries appeared, and through the dedication of monasteries of copyist guilds, reproduction of books like Gothic manuscripts could be flourished thanks to abundance of paper in Italy and efforts of numerous printers. After that, commercialism of publishers to reduce the craft of the printer like printing press could be emerged. Lastly, newspaper became the main monopoly of knowledge. In